Naptown, the city that always sleeps. Most people think nothing happens in this town that is halfway between nothing and nowhere, but they would be wrong. There is plenty that goes on in this town for those willing to look. Having successfully infiltrated the Kinley Ball, the crew tries to prevent Lillian from singing. They are also hoping to bring an end to the flow of the Rose Martinis. Will they accomplish their goals, or do their hopes mean little in the city that always sleeps?
Okay, last time you guys had made it to the Kinley Manor party. After some botched rolls on most people's parts, you did not learn as much as you would like. Tanner and Seamus are now heading off to the bar to see what they can find there. That is on the main, or that is in the ballroom. So, what you guys about?
Tanner, hang on a second. If you try to go out there dressed like this, you're gonna get caught and probably thrown out.
All right, fair point. Here's a box of onions. Pretend like you're delivering these to the bar, I guess.
And what do you want me to do at the bar?
Like the little cocktail onions? Oh, see if you can find rose water and, like, I don't know, smash it.
Well,
or steal it. Or dump it out.
Don't know if I'll be able to smash it. That might get me thrown out.
As long as there's no rose water. I mean...
At this point, can Darling run into them?
Well...
Like, coming out of the bathroom?
We're still in, like, the back hallways.
You're on opposite ends.
Oh, okay.
So, you're still in public area, they're in private area.
Gotcha. Okay.
Seamus will start heading that way. Tanner, did you say what you're doing?
Me? No, I've not said what I'm doing. But I am going to try to sneak around and get to the backstage area of the performers.
Okay. What are you doing? What's your new plan to get backstage?
Well, I thought I was going to use Seamus, but if I'm not going to use him...
I mean, I'll be going out there eventually, right?
Yeah, but she needs to get back there, like, ASAP. Like, we gotta switch out her drink or, like, get this going before she gets out there. Darling is going to go back up to the security guy who's been guarding that backstage area. Hey, listen, I know that you're working. I am too. And she like holds up the business card for the Chatterbox. But you know, I'd love to get to know you a little bit better when all of this is done. You know, it's really nice to hang out with a big, strong guy like you. And I am trying to get him to walk away, and I'm using Charmer, Control the Will of Others, Dominatrix, Distraction?
All the stops.
I mean, this is what she does.
Maybe Center of Attention?
I will not say Center of Attention. I will give you the other 4.
Can get anywhere?
Oh,
fine, yeah.
So basically, don't roll snake eyes.
13.
I certainly hope so.
I was not going to fail that one.
So yeah, he seems very enamored with you. Like, you, even in a room full of very well-dressed people, you are still a cut above the rest. You know how to use your beauty to get what you want, and you distract him enough that you're able to sneak behind him easily and get into the backstage area.
Nice. Okay.
And he kind of forgets that she was there, kind of thing.
I think she does that thing where it's like find me later, and then like distracts him like with something else, and then just like slips behind, you know, and then she's like, oh, she must be lost in the crowd, you know.
It could also be just as blatant as like she gives him a wink and he is so enamored that he doesn't realize she's just like literally opening the door to the backstage and walking back there.
Yeah, because you are also using magic, so that could very well be it.
He is starstruck.
Great. I am backstage. I am trying to find the green room. So wherever Lillian's dressing room area.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for when you run into Lillian.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I have contingency plans, but I'd prefer not to.
So you begin sneaking back into those hallways, but we will get back to you in a minute. First, Faye.
So far, I guess she hasn't noticed anybody like Lucia or suspicious. Does it seem like they're pushing Rose Martinis again? Or is there something new? The bartenders, I guess.
So,
do I recognize any of the bartenders from the ones at the Chatterbox?
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
These questions are investigation questions.
Yes. Intelligent.
Won't take no for an answer.
Yeah, I don't have anything else besides intelligence, so. Hey, I got a 12 though.
Remember, you guys can also create juice and then burn tags to get an automatic 10 on rolls.
Can we do that? Do we have to do that before we roll, or can we choose that after we've rolled?
You have to do that before you roll, and you'll need juice to be able to do it. So you have to change the game and create juice for yourself.
Okay.
That's like creating an advantage for the team.
Yes, is
Okay.
what juice is.
Right. Okay. I got a 12 on my investigation.
That was very good.
It is.
So, and you used one tag, but you get a minimum of 2 from rolling a 12.
Yay.
So your questions are what you stated before. So are they pushing Rose Martinis? Well, it's not a business, so it's a little bit different.
Right. Yeah. They don't have a sale.
Right. It's a little bit different, but as you glance around, you do notice quite a few of them.
Okay.
And you also notice that you drank one. You realize you drank one a while ago.
Okay.
You weren't paying attention. There are consequences to failing rolls.
Right.
So, you realize, now looking, you're like, oh, no.
Yeah, because I haven't actually tasted one before.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And, you were just, caught up in the conversation. Basically, I think the way you and Ewan were handling it was, you were basically, trading off going to the bar and grabbing drinks for each other. Mm-hmm. And not that you guys are, hugely boozing, but, you were just, caught up in the conversation and joking around that you just, he set a drink down and you just, drank it.
Yeah.
And now that you're, actually, back to, thinking about what you're doing, you're like, oh, that was bad. That was very bad.
Right. Okay, so can I pick up 2 drinks for us and put the potion from Sylvia in them both?
You definitely can.
Okay.
So here's a question. I thought, you took the other, do you have 2?
I have 2.
Okay.
That worked out nicely.
It did, yeah. And then my other thing was...
Do you recognize any of the bartenders?
Yeah.
You don't recognize most of them. Most of them just seem to be hired help. It's not like they're calling in bartenders. But you do notice the bartender that sold you the Rose Martini the other evening is there.
At the Chatterbox?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
And you got a 12, so as a note, you've never met her before, as help of any sort.
Okay.
Prior to seeing her at the Chatterbox. It's not
right.
This is the Kinley's.
Personal, yeah.
Right.
Okay. Does she have a description?
She does. Let me pull that up real quick. Black hair and green eyes. She has her hair in a longer fashion, and she appears to be in her mid-30s.
Okay.
You do not know her name. You guys never asked it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I make note of it.
Okay. So at this point, Seamus, you walk out onto the floor.
Yeah, I head over to the bar.
Okay.
I guess I just go to one end of it. You said it's a pretty big bar, right?
Yeah, I don't know how long a long bar is. 20 feet? It's where, they can have, multiple bartenders functioning without running into each other easily. But so you go to one end of it. And
get the bartender's attention whenever they have a moment. I'm not, trying to stop them from whatever they're doing.
Yes, how may I help you?
Hi, I was asked to deliver this from downstairs. It's some olives for the drinks, I presume.
All right, thank you. And he grabs them.
While I'm there, I want to look behind, take a look behind the bar and see if I see any of what might be rose water.
Give me an investigation check.
I will see the unseen.
All right, anything else?
No, but it's also a 5, so I would need lots of help.
All right, you do not notice any rose water.
Okay, and then on my way back, heading back towards backstage or whatever, I'm going to do a quick scan of the room. I know you said it's getting kind of busy in here, right?
Yes.
It's not kind of a full party. Seamus is just going to take a quick look to see if he can see where Faye and Darling are, see if he can notice them. He's not walking around table to table. He just wants to make a quick scan of the room to see if he can spot them and see what they're up to.
Give me a quick roll, just a straight up and down roll.
No, that's a 3. What the heck? I cannot roll anything today.
It's really busy. You don't see them.
Yep, so I head backstage again.
You head that way, but first, Darling and Tanner, as you're both sneaking to the backstage area, you guys bump into each other.
Did Tanner get backstage?
I've kind of always been in behind the scenes, so I'm just staying there.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to see that you were able to get back here.
Yeah, it turns out lettuce is a solid way to sneak in anywhere. So how are things going for you?
Took a little bit longer than I would have liked to get back here, and she holds up the tea, headed towards wherever Lillian is.
Well, that's about what I was planning to do. My plan is to stare her in the eyes and ask her the truth.
I mean, I was going a little more subtle, but you're welcome to try that.
I feel like a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Look, I know we know each other now, but once we get in there, you don't have to know me. You know what I mean?
She laughs at him and kisses him on the cheek before continuing.
Tanner smiles and is awkwardly fiddling at his shirt, trying to, like, rip a patch off so it says something that would be, like, appropriate to put him in a backstage area with singers. Like Green's microphones.
How long are we going to let Cody have these MacGuffins?
They're not MacGuffins, they're patch guffins.
I mean, so far he hasn't ripped off any, has he?
I'm doing it right now. I'm like ripping a patch off.
I mean,
as we go.
yeah. It's not like you've read through 5.
It's also flavor text and not giving him any mechanical advantage.
That's fair.
Okay, so you guys head into the backstage area. Lillian is back there getting ready. So if you want to sneak around and get her, swap out her stuff, you would need to make a sneak check, Mandy, because she knows who you are.
Can I be a distraction for this?
Make a change the game roll on how you want to be a
And
distraction.
I mean, even if I fail to change the game, I still want to go up and directly have a really creepy conversation with her.
I mean, if you fail, though, you're not going to succeed in giving the bonus.
Right, I understand that. But I will change the game for being a creeping, menacing weirdo.
You could ask her to come out for a sound check.
I don't fail that roll.
Just an option to get her out of the room.
Were you using any tags?
Not even, but I'm going to use tags.
You're supposed to declare your tags before you roll, you know.
Oh, well, does it matter?
The idea is so you don't just like try to like make things that don't fit because you rolled too low.
Oh, well, it's up to you, and I succeeded, so. But I think the only one I would really have is Calm, Authority, and Fast Friends.
I think you're trying to be a creep. You don't get fast friends.
Then I have Calm Authority.
I will begrudgingly allow you Calm Authority.
Cool, I got a 10.
You're an authority in being a weirdo.
So what I want to do is clomp in and go, "Oh, good, I'm glad I found you. This is extremely important. You need to come with me right away. The microphones have not been calibrated appropriately for your voice. It's pitching and squealing everywhere. Feedback, all this electricity, it's just magic, and it's going to ruin your performance, really."
You say magic. It's really funny. Sorry. So I will. So you get, with change the game, you do get 2 effects or 2 juice. I'm going to take one of them, and you do get her out of the room. She's like, "Oh, that sounds terrible. We need to make sure that my voice sounds as beautiful as possible. This is my way to being a star,
Darling rolls her eyes.
You are able, you start heading out of the room, and she does follow you, taking no note of Darling.
Okay.
Cool. I go in and I switch up her drink, make it look the same, whatever I need to do to leave. Let's go with green tea, to leave the green tea behind, because I feel like that still looks fairly herbal.
I'm going to have you make a take the risk roll.
Okay.
What is that?
When you perform a daring, risky, or outright stupid feat, roll plus power. On a 10 plus, you do it somehow. On a 7 to 9, things get messy. The MC will ask you a hard bargain or an ugly choice.
Okay.
I don't think this is outright stupid.
I was just reading off of. I think it's daring or risky.
Okay.
Because you're trying to replace someone's drink with a completely different drink. And yeah, you could replace my Cody's Diet Coke with Dr. Pepper, but he's gonna kind of notice.
Could I have a +1 at least for Cody's distraction or Tanner's distraction?
Yes, I will allow that.
I think otherwise I'm just rolling straight.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow that. That seems fair. How bad did you roll?
That's an 11.
Okay, it doesn't matter then. So yeah.
You do it somehow.
I think what happened is she was drinking an herbal tea, and so basically just swapped it out. So it looks very, very similar. Green tea just tastes very different.
And I'm also going to argue, you remember back when you were actually friends with her, that, she really likes the taste of green tea. She just doesn't drink it a lot. So when she comes back and drinks it, it won't be, an immediate, red flag, oh, I hate this. It's, oh, this is nice. And then, realize a little bit too late that it might...
Oh, that was green tea.
Yeah.
All right, Tanner.
So as soon as we get out of the room, Tanner just turns around and stares her dead in the eyes and just goes, "Are you hypnotizing people with your creepy singing magical powers?" And I want to use Truths That Are Hidden, Hypnotizing Eyes, and Private Detective. This being an ability, by the way, that I am supposed to be able to like hypnotize people by looking them in the eyes and get them to say true things.
Right, I know. Yes, but you're gonna take a -1 for reasons.
Okay.
Reasons you don't know of yet.
Oh, I rolled a 12 natural, so that's a 14.
Dang. We totally flipped from last session where we were all failing things left and right.
So she looks you in the eye and says, I have no idea what you're talking about. Though she does like take a step back and look a little bit more scared of you. So she is not giving in to what you're trying to convince her of. She is taking a status effect of level 3.
What does that mean?
Oh, so do I think she's lying?
Probably.
I guess we didn't lay this out, did we? So I'm trying to make a convince roll.
Yes, you're trying to make a convince roll. You succeeded. So either she...
On a hit, they either reveal it or take a status. Okay, so we should have been explicit about this if there was going to be a possibility of her resisting this, I guess.
Yeah, so she is now more afraid of you, but she is resisting what you're trying to do.
Okay.
So that in and of itself is the clue, meaning she is hiding something.
Basically just her... It's kind of her admitting it.
I mean, you make whatever assumptions you want to make.
Can you make one other roll and see if you can see the hex on her?
Oh, that's a good question.
That to me is more concrete than her just potentially lying to you.
Yeah, that's fair. Zach, can I do that?
I'll allow it, since it's like a glance thing, like...
Would this be investigate?
I would say yes.
Okay.
And he kind of has something to compare it to because he
I am saying since you're like investigating something specific, like you can use whatever tags apply, but you're not going to keep clues from this necessarily.
That's fine. I'm asking a very specific question. Okay.
Right. You're asking a very specific drill down question that you like.
Then I would say Truths That Are Hidden, Private Detective, and then can I get the +1 from like having sniffed it out before?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, not as good, but is still a 10. When you add 3, it's a lot easier.
She does not have a hex on her, as far as you can tell.
Okay, sorry. I am saying when I hear her voice, do I feel like it is a similar hex? I'm not asking if she is hexed. I don't think she is hexed. Although I guess that's good information to have that she isn't hexed.
Have you heard her sing?
No, I haven't. We got kicked out before we heard her sing.
I'm trying to think of the answer to this question. This is a tricky question you're asking me. I would say no. Cody, you do not see any hex on her in any form.
Okay.
Whether that's her giving it or her doing it.
Okay.
However, as a note, in the same way, like I would say, for reference for all powers henceforward, just because you don't see it this second doesn't mean they can't do it.
I understand.
Right.
I would say it's fair that she could still sing a hex, and I just didn't notice it. I specifically noticed it in a drink, so I'm fine with that.
Right, and it's kind of like Darling is not constantly activating her Aphrodite powers.
It's not exuding.
Right. I understand. I am not going to be hurt.
Right. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. What are you doing?
Okay, so she just like backed up and is creeped out, but did deny it. Tanner looks noticeably confused and just goes, well, my mistake. In that case, your microphone is calibrated and I have to go find someone else. And I walk off towards the stage.
Okay, she seems visibly confused, but starts heading back to her dressing room.
Darling's got to get out of there.
Oh, I assumed I was out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she had time to get out. So, who wants to do stuff?
Well, after having gone to the bar, Seamus was heading backstage. I'm guessing he kind of walks in at about this point, right?
Yes.
So he's gonna go find Tanner and be like, "Well, I delivered that produce to the bar, and I didn't notice any rosewater there, but it is a big bar."
Can I say that Darling was able to catch up with Tanner and is a part of this now too?
Yeah, the three of you can be there.
Okay.
As long as Faye doesn't mind being left out.
She's having a lovely time.
Well, I was able to switch Lillian's drink. So at the very least, she's not going to be singing very well. So we have more opportunities to delay her if she is going to keep singing.
Well, one, I guess I see two options here. She's the only person in that room, right? That green room back there?
I think so.
I mean, if I kind of understand the type of rift she might be, it seems like she might rise to a challenge, particularly about her singing. We could lie to her and tell her she's been, like, kicked off stage and, darling, you're there to replace her. That might, like, freak her out, make her mad. She's already upset because I think I terrified her. And,
wait a minute. What did you do?
I asked her if she was hexing people, and she said no, which either means she really isn't and we're chasing the wrong lead, or she's very resilient, I guess, because usually that works.
So you just straight up went to our lead suspect and just asked her flat out, are you the bad guy?
Yes, that frequently works for me.
I mean, I guess subtle approach is kind of behind us now, right?
Well, it's behind me all the time, but yeah. But we could lean on the door so she can't get out.
I mean, I'm a fan of both of those options right now. My even further backup plan was if she does get out there and sing and things start happening to unplug the mic.
Yeah, that's also good.
Were people out there drinking the rose martinis? Seamus, were you able to tell? Or was I able to tell?
I did not think to look. Oh, I guess I wasn't really thinking of checking for that.
Can we consider that like team knowledge since I rolled to discover that?
Yeah. Well, no, you don't.
Oh,
I would
okay.
say in this point, no, yeah.
Would I have seen that?
I don't think because you didn't look, so I don't think.
Okay.
So I think at this point what Seamus is going to do is he's going to poke his head back out the door and take a look.
Make me an investigation check.
See the unseen?
No, it's very seen.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything for this then. 5. I cannot roll anything tonight.
Oh, no.
It's garbage.
You see a lot of drinks on tables. You've also never... Oh, no, you have seen a rose martini.
Yeah.
You see a lot of drinks on tables. There are martini glasses, but there are champagne flutes. There are wine glasses. There is all sorts of things.
Well, I mean, all I can really see is that a lot of people are drinking out there, and they've got all kinds of different drinks. I can't really get a good look from here.
But we could probably assume that at least a couple people have had it. So I think at this point, it really is about stopping her from singing.
Yeah, that seems like our best option at the moment.
Yeah.
So which plan are we going with?
Lock her in a room or try and make her rise to a challenge.
Sorry, this was unclear. I meant those together.
Oh.
I mean, we shove Darling in there and then we close the door and we don't open it. I mean, unless she's like screaming like, oh god, I'm being murdered, but like, barring that.
I like how your plan is let Darling fight this house.
Okay. Sure.
I think I want to go on record and say that part of the plan seems like not a good idea, but I guess it's. What do you think, Darling?
I mean, as long as you guys are back up, we'll see how this goes. Before Darling walks in, she goes, but just in case, and she kisses Tanner so that she thinks she has his God's favor power.
Wait, I don't get one too, and then Seamus kisses Tanner on the cheek.
Oh, we're the cutest.
All right, I guess I head over to her door.
Are you guys like leaning on the door so it can't open then?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Make me a go toe-to-toe, one of you.
Wait, am I going in first?
Yes.
It's like you go in, we immediately close the door behind you, and then try to bar it with ourselves.
Okay.
Right, the go toe-to-toe is basically if she ever wants to leave the room to see how successful you are.
So just one of us, not both.
One of you can roll it. The other person helping gives you a +1.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. I'm good not doing that.
Oh, I'm making the roll? Oh, all right. I assumed you would because I don't have as many things for this.
I don't have like anything for this.
I think Seamus can take a pounding and premonitions probably, or not premonitions, but predict foes' moves.
Oh yeah, so I could like sense when she's
like those two, and then you get a +1 from Tanner, like also help like.
Okay, yeah. So like when she starts like if she starts like trying to push on the door, I can hold my ground. And
Yeah,
kind
you
of
like know when to brace.
know when to brace. Yeah. Okay, that's a 10.
Yay!
Okay, so with a 10, you usually get to pick 2 of these, but I'm going to pick for you because one of them doesn't make sense. You manage to achieve your goal, so you do hold the door close, and then you block, dodge, or counter their best attempts. You don't take a status effect from this.
Okay.
The other option you could have chosen is you get them good, but you aren't really
She hurts herself when she tries to open the door.
right. But I don't think that's gonna happen. So Darling and Lillian are trapped in a room together. I should have known you were behind this.
Behind what?
Every time something weird happens in my life, you seem to be there. Things start to go well for me for a change, and you just decide to show back up and waltz into my life. Like, why are you even here?
Well, I'm surprised they didn't say anything, but I guess you've been replaced.
How much are you actually trying to convince her of this?
Not really.
Okay. If we're just
especially if she's already looking at me like it's my fault, then I'm just baiting her.
We both know that's a bunch of bullshit.
All right, well.
Why are you really here, darling? Did you charm the manager to let you take his tickets or something like that?
I wouldn't say charmed him so much as made it a good argument for some PR. More importantly, though, I'm concerned with how fast you've been moving around town. You've been moving through the halls very quickly for someone who does not seem to care that much.
Hey, I've always wanted to be a famous jazz singer like you. Well, like you are.
Okay, didn't put the work in.
I've put the work in now. I seem to be moving up quite well.
It doesn't seem like it's been a little bit fast to you.
Oh, it seemed to happen at just the right time for me. It seems to be actually all happening on my own schedule, and this has been lovely.
Yeah, it seems great that you've been making your own schedule, which is why I'm wondering if you've had a little bit of extra luck trying to do that.
I have a question for you, Mandy, because I don't necessarily remember.
Yes.
Have you ever used your powers in front of her?
I would say not intentionally.
Okay.
Just because I cannot account for every single interaction we've ever had.
Right. No, I was just curious if she happened to be around one time when you used your powers with me, because I don't think anything's happened in this arc while she's been around.
No, nothing has specifically happened in this arc.
Wait, did you use your powers when you had that really good night singing?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Or at least I rolled using a lot of them, so...
Right. So you mean to tell me that you haven't used any extra edges yourself to help you get ahead and have good performances here and there and make people like you a little bit more and get you into good positions?
Oh, so you did notice that. So here's my question for you then. If you were able to notice that maybe sometimes I've got a little extra edge, what are you doing with your extra edge besides moving up real fast? There's been a lot of crime recently, Lillian, and we're trying to figure out exactly what's happening.
So, we're going to cut to Faye. At this point, it's been a little bit. The show isn't starting exactly on time, which is an alarm bell for Faye. In a lot of, these things are like clockwork. Mm-hmm. And it's like 5 minutes past, which is horrifyingly late. And no one has said anything kind of thing.
Lady Kinley is looking disturbed.
Yes. Additionally, from the other successes you've rolled, you do notice the bartender that you've seen before heading backstage looking flustered.
Okay. Can Faye go try to intercept her?
So real quick, I want to just make sure you and drank the antidote stuff, right? Okay.
He says that is the best drink he's had all evening and wants another.
I don't know if I can get them to reproduce it, but we'll just have to enjoy it while it lasts.
Also for you,
how am I feeling? Do I feel different than I did before I took the antidote? Do I notice anything?
You have this weird feeling. It's not a bad feeling. It's like, you know how like when you drink, when you get a little buzzed, you feel like just like better about everything. Mm-hmm. It's similar to that feeling with none of the buzz to it.
Okay.
So like you feel like in complete control of your facilities.
Okay.
Or
like
faculties.
Extra focused.
Yeah, like you feel really good, but with none of like the downsides of alcohol like dulling your senses.
Okay. Gotcha.
You also don't feel any of the other alcohol you've had like all night, and not like in a bad way, but in a like it's just not hitting you way.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's like you drank a decent amount, and now all of a sudden you're like, I feel completely sober, like I haven't had a drop ever.
Okay. So I'm gonna excuse myself from Owen and say that I'm going to the bathroom, and I want to get lost enough in the crowd that he loses sight of me, shapeshift into another bartender, and try to get her to come back. Like there's something wrong.
This sounds like a sneak around roll.
Yes.
I'm going to argue you cannot use shapeshifting as a tag for this. Because the sneaky part is getting into the crowd and then shapeshifting in a crowd.
Oh, so I'm trying to shapeshift so that I can convince the person to not go backstage. That there's like an emergency at the bar.
Yes. Well,
So
here's
is
the
that
problem.
a separate role than losing myself in the crowd to get to her?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'm doing 2 roles.
Right. The problem right now is
Okay.
you're trying to do magic in a very, very public place where someone is presumably looking at you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use make others focus on each other, not me,
That seems fair.
and Men of Power.
That seems fair.
Awesome. I guess I'll do that. That is a 9.
Cool. You do that.
Who notices me?
You don't know,
Okay.
but Zach does.
Da da da.
So you easily enough shapeshift into a bartender, which you immediately start to look a little bit more out of place as you transform yourself and your clothes to look like that of the waitstaff. And people are giving you like weird looks because there's not really waitstaff out here.
Yeah.
But easily enough, you are able to make your way over to this other person.
Okay. So I'm going to tug on her sleeve and say, "Sorry, there's been a problem with the rose water. I couldn't find more. Can you come back and check? There seems to be something wrong."
Well, I'm about to go to the bathroom real quick, but as soon as I'm done with that, I'll be happy to help.
Lady Kinley is demanding that it gets fixed right away. People are demanding that they've really been a hit tonight. Just, can you come check?
So she gives you an eye roll. Make me a convince check, please. You definitely have your shapeshifting tag. Like, it's like a default.
Okay. And won't take no for an answer?
I'll give you that. Also, I feel like some of these other ones apply, but I'm not sure which one. Because I like what you're doing. Like, it's a smart plan, but I don't know if like I can just apply intelligent to everything.
Well, she hasn't been using intelligent, so
Yeah, I'll give you intelligent because this feels like a really good play, Caitlin. Like what you're
Okay.
doing. I'll say like
I can also maybe make people turn on each other. Like she suspects she's really willing to blame somebody else on the staff for messing something up. If you think that's much more of a stretch than intelligent, that's fine.
No, but I'm also going to invoke your other magician weakness tag.
I was wondering if you would do that, but that tells me something. So I have +3 -1, which is +2.
Yep.
That's an 8.
She is going to take a status.
Okay.
So for these type of roles where they choose to take the status instead of doing whatever you convince them of, we don't know the difference between them taking the status and actually telling us the truth or whatever.
You know that so
Right.
the way it works is that they have an agenda of their own. So just because you say you need to do this doesn't mean they're inherently against you. It means they don't want to do it.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking more in Tanner's case. I guess like in Tanner's case where he like asked her a flat out question and she said, "I don't know what you're talking about," and took a status. Does Tanner know the difference between her lying to him and taking the status or telling the truth? Like, does he just knows it's one of those two options?
Oh, in character versus.
I think he knows that she took the status, which implies that she is hiding something, but it doesn't mean that she's hiding exactly what. It doesn't mean she's casting the hexes, but it does mean she's not like answering his questions.
Okay.
And the status usually like would probably inhibit their agenda somehow, right? Or like affect what they're doing in some way.
Yes.
Okay.
So she is taking just a generic status of distracted, and you used how many tags? 3?
3.
She has distracted 2
Okay.
because I'm going to take 1 off for you not doing a complete success.
Okay.
Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
So she's distracted 2, but she's like, well, I will be out here to help it in just a second. You can tell Lady Kinley to not get her undergarments in a twist. I will be right out.
I wouldn't. Oh, all right. I won't tell her that, but got it.
And she storms off into the back.
All right. So did that give that didn't give the team any time, did it?
It did give them a little bit of time.
Okay.
So
does that generate juice? That's not how that works.
nope, that is not how that works. So Tanner and Seamus, you're just kind of chilling there. What I am good, Seamus, make me a convince roll to keep people away from the area, and I'll give you a +1 since you're like security here, and this is kind of where you're supposed to be.
All right. I'm gonna use. Can I use predict foe's move on this?
Yes. Also, I'm saying the door is staying shut. Like, you and Tanner have, like, locked it up enough that, like, one of you leaning on it is enough. It's not like you leave the scene and all of a sudden she can leave. Like, I'm considering that, like, air quotes locked as long as one of you is around.
And you said I get a +1 for being security?
Yeah, you're being security. You kind of know,
Okay.
like, what to say and that. I think that's a fair way to handle, like, how you got into here.
Okay. Oh boy, that is a 13. Finally.
Yay.
Cool. Yeah, you are, like, so you don't have the complications of security coming here because you're security. This is your area. When other security routes come this way and be like, hey, like, wanna, like, you kind of do like a switch route thing so people have to walk less, but you're just in this hallway now.
Yeah, I basically convinced someone to go to give me their route that was this area, and they took my route, which is downstairs.
Yeah. So
now I don't have to worry. Now I don't have to worry about someone like noticing. Oh, there's nobody down here where they're supposed to be.
So, back to Darling. You can't tell me that you didn't get tangled up in some other people when you first changed over. Like, someone that helped you. You have prior engagements, and you go a few people a few favors, and, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, no, I didn't get tangled up in that because I was fortunate enough to find people who were like me, who could help me control all this. And so I'm gonna offer this to you now, Lillian. I can get you in with people who are like us, and you don't have to do it this way.
And why would I want help from someone from the likes of you who's only ever turned down her nose at me? And as this is being said, you see Tanner sees the bartender round the corner. She very clearly looks at you and then throws green fire running down the length of the hallway.
Hey Wanderers, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Naptown Chronicles. If you want to hear more content from the Wandering Gamer Network, you can check out the Wandering Gamer Network website. We also post Let's Plays that we do on YouTube under the channel Wandering Gamer Network. On Twitch, we can be found at wandering_gamer_network, and you can follow us on Twitter at the WGN Podcast. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. The intro and outro music was composed by Caitlin Balgman, who voices Faye in this podcast. All other music is openly licensed or in the public domain. Now, sleeper, it is time to rest. And remember, it is the gods who envy us.